watching the Golden Bee Revolution, episode 54. Kau alam yang nomor ming discuss kan walang uh, that is voter education and also civic education in West Coast. Sama adundi ka wakna la, but first la limit la in a KMC la, then bita BCC la, anim bita LRR la kata URR la. But coming alam nyami na dorong this time la mana team focus kan on KMC la. Ko jamaah fa nyami na dorong. Why do I need to vote la? Mina ba na la makarte fela an nyanda ka karte fe nyaadi le mida ban kala karte fela tela woko la ko ni yaje flan ko tenkela film ba dun ka wade ko mi an ko ka fami second phase of COVID-19 la akata jamale jahal ko la kaje ko how can we battle COVID-19 la fenja fo kan jet la we are receiving vaccinations la and so many things la but there are also countries mi an ko measures put in play la to battle against COVID-19 la so be makacha samendo wala la karola kaje come like how can we afford to live in peace until Fankola, because in terms of elections there are two pre-elections and post-elections. In this time pre-elections COVID-19 is going to disturb it, but because we have someone I research on outside Gambia on how other countries try COVID-19 control. So for Gambia France so if I can COVID-19 control so we could have a peaceful, free and fair elections in December. Kaja ko Gambia lonta min da madonna to defend peace la to defend the color la min ka famille la red white blue white green la white flag sinya flag so that peace responsibility pour ka establish in this country here it is you and I that will have to fight for that pour ka maintain mobile carola. Remember peace is priceless. We should not give any single opportunity or even an atom to a violence in the Gambia because you cannot overcome it. And also, I will stand in solidarity with the people Milialanko, Iba Koliaku sort of come from other nations like be brutalized and like. Must we always go to the streets la Pruka call address and must we be brutalized always la Pruka stability maintained? There are several ways to use. Dialogue is the best. So that's why today we are here, episode 54. We're going to have a dialogue on civic rights and also voter education. Also, how are we going to maintain Gambia free from COVID-19. So with that, I don't want to go further without explaining the title that we'll be discussing here today. And also you can monitor our activities on Facebook, that is like Golden Bee Revolution, and also Star TV Facebook page. You click it, then you will enjoy the show because I know you don't want to miss this. So with that, I will start my introduction from the right-hand side, then I move to the left-hand side. Your face is very, very new to the Golden Bee Revolution, but it's not new on Star TV. Welcome to the Golden Bee Revolution.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Alaji, for that brief introduction of the show. And then I am so delighted to be part of the 50th episode of the Golden Bee Revolution. Like you rightly said, I am Omar Job, Star TV producer, and then recently embarked on a research on the COVID-19 controls in our sister country here. And then I will just give a brief explanation about my education background. From junior school, I will say, because of starting from primary one, we say that's the private education. From LK, then proceed to Gambia High. From Gambia High, then you have Inside Training Institute, then Majak, and who I will say I'm a current student of Majak.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
And Majak one will be like, what is Majak? It's media communication for School of Journalism.
For journalism and communication.
Yeah, so you're pursuing your diploma.
Yeah, so in the supposed.
I wish you good luck. And
thank you very much.
So I come back to you, my brother.
Thank you very much. It's an honor having me here. My name is Maravi Amfal Haidara. I work with Gambia Participates as a social media officer. And Gambia Participate is a civil society organization that focuses on promoting good governance and transparency in the public sector. So we also leverage modern digital tools to combat corruption while also enlightening the masses about their rights and their duties as citizens. Yeah. And I'm also a digital marketer. I help business, all kinds of business, especially startups, so that they can have that online presence that they needed to get to their potential.
Wow, beautiful.
And also I'm a Google local guide, a position which I use to register places, businesses, street roads on Google Map, I know in the Gambia, most places are not available on Google Maps,
Oh.
and it makes it very difficult for people to locate them. So that is why I have been doing this for 2 years now, and I'm very happy that I've registered so many places, and this thing will also continue.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's very beautiful. I think the Golden Bee Revolution will reach out to you because part of our obligation, or maybe I'll call it our objective, is helping young startups like our motto will say, empower with voice. So we have lots of young people in the Gambia here who are into business. We will see how best we can collaborate with you. So we have them registered and also place it.
So,
And I think I will register Golden Bee Revolution on Google Map.
yeah,
So I will
yeah,
not tell people you have to go this side, you take this road, and then you
yeah,
move. So that will be a beautiful
yeah,
one.
that's
So
it.
coming back to the topic, like I said, it is going to be focused on voter education and also civic rights. Part of that also, I try to introduce a COVID-19 because it's a rare condition, is a kind of like a unique system we live in now, where we've seen elections who have been tampered because of the COVID-19. If you look at the United States election, many had the fear that if elections wants to be taken to the polling station, we will have difficulties because of the COVID-19. We cannot avoid the crowd. The virus will spread. There will be a winner that is announced that you are the elect president, but the people are all sick. So these are conditions we want to avoid. So they were able to do it in that format. You talk about, is it Uganda of recent that went on elections? The same thing was really experienced there, so on, and all our countries too. So we don't want to see this happening in the Gambia here. So thanks to you that you've taken a trip to Guinea-Bissau. You've had dialogue with the people of Guinea-Bissau on how to combat COVID-19, and we have lots of footage that you've provided. But before going to the video, what inspired you to take up this journey?
Thank you very much, Alaji, for that wonderful question. You know, as I see it in the Gambia, the COVID-19, the preventive measures is becoming a history in the Gambia, not because we are COVID-free,
Yeah.
but because people are no more considering COVID to be held in the Gambia here. So we have just let everything. So when I just sat, I said, maybe it's the mindset of the people. Do we take COVID seriously?
Yeah.
Do we politicize the COVID issue? Because of whoever you talk about COVID, they will tell you it's about politics, it's about this. So then when I went to Bissau, it was a different scenario.
Oh, beautiful.
So when I was in Bissau, I will not say much about it, but the thing is, from young, old, poor, rich, wherever I went, you will see people with masks, and then it was so impressive. I said, oh, this is different from Gambia. Because here, you hardly see people wear masks. Whoever you see with masks, you will just see, if you walk from here to Westfield, the people you will see it will be countable, like either one or two, or you may even see none. So in Bissau, that's a different case. So I said, okay, if I try to work on in this story, maybe I may change the perspective of the people and the belief people have upon this thing.
Yeah.
Because we believe whatever health issue came, we should not politicize it. Because we have health authorities who studied it and we believe in them. Why do we go to the hospital when we are sick? Because of we do not study medicine or other stuff. Because we have the right authorities who should prescribe whatever necessity it will be.
Yeah.
So if those people say do this and then we are not doing it, where does the problem lies? So that's why when I went to Bissau, I tried to work on this story and then come back in the Gambia and work on a similar story to change the perspective of the way people think about this COVID, and then who to blame in this aspect. It is the authorities or the citizens.
Sure.
Yeah.
Usually, it's very funny. Once looking at it, I stand to be corrected. Someone will like to challenge me on this area. But mostly in the Gambia here, when a law is being announced, people think it is because of it has a political connection. Anytime we tend to do it, but sometimes too, if you look at the government structure, they also give us the impression that we are doing this in a political dimension. And I have too many things to say, or maybe a proof to this. We've seen political rallies happening when we are discouraging people to go in how do you call it, to avoid crowded areas. We've seen so many things. There were a time citizens will even be like crying outright on social media. Let there be land and how do you call it, airport being closed. Let have a total lockdown.
Yeah.
But we are neglected. until when the case registered here. And sometimes one will be like, yeah, I think maybe they want us to have a record here of a COVID-19 case, and then it goes. We should not give the average citizens a kind of a cake to discuss. If we want to tackle certain things, we have to be very, very strong. We have to put laws that they will understand. So I think this was the case in Guinea-Bissau. When they knew things are going wrong, they closed all the borders, they protect the country. But here, first, we welcome it. So the idea of like prevention is better than cure has been compromised in that area, and I hope the government will really look into this and take it with a serious thing. There was a time when there was a COVID-19 case was rising, and then we've seen crowds of tens of thousands of people are gathering. And of recent too, yesterday, day before yesterday, and even of this very close to this, we've seen large people gathering together, and still we are crying of COVID-19. I hope your video will help the mindset of the people.
Yeah. Before we go in with the video, because the good example will be Guinea-Bissau, because they have a population like less than 2 million or 2 million, so goes to the Gambia here.
Very well.
So that's why I take a perfect example to Guinea-Bissau.
So we call ourselves sister
countries.
Yeah. I'll come to you, Mr. Haidara. First, let's flow with the line of the COVID-19 a little before we go into detailed discussions on road of Gambia participate in terms of election, especially focused on KMC here. There are so many things that I've been crying, like I earlier said from my statement, that I said in a crowd place you have voter registration and like, in your opinion, being someone that always puts the government into account and so many other things, and you also focus on voter education and the like, how do you think we should tackle this because of like COVID-19 and crowd, and also we need to register our voters?
Yeah, thank you. I think that's a very important one. You know, COVID-19 is here, and I can also be stand to be corrected.
Yeah.
But COVID-19 is here to stay, so we need to figure out ways to live with it.
Sure.
Yeah, and we also know that elections are one of the most important events of every country,
sure,
even though that could be an opposite dimension in the Gambia due to the low voter turnout. And that has so many impact on us as citizens by making sure that the people we put in our position, in our public office, are there for us. So when it comes to COVID-19, we have to figure out different mechanism. I know we are not at the same level with United States of America, otherwise we would have done what they did.
Yeah, that is the go online voting.
Go online voting.
Yeah.
If we do that, we are dead.
Yeah.
But for us, what we do at Gambia Participate, we use all the mechanisms that are available there.
Sure.
For example, when it comes to our voter education, we try to reach out to communities that registered low voter turnout in the past. But what we do, we try to make sure that, okay, if the number should be 100, we reduce it to 10, how to call it, 50, and make sure that there is maximum social distancing, and also each of them will put on a mask. Yeah. Then we will give them this tax that our plan was to have as much people as we can, but because of the COVID-19, we cannot do that. So each of you are from a home. When you reach out to your home, make sure that this message is not only stopped here with you and within you, but you can also share it with your people at home. And we don't only stop there. We know that, okay, in the rural Gambia, you have to get to them. But here in the urban area, we can reach out to as many people as we can by using social media. I think at Gambia Participate, social media is one of our key areas. It's something that we know very well. We know how many people use social media in the Gambia as of 2021 January, and we know the age group also, so we target them. But we don't just target them on social media. We go to IEC and have that data. Last election,
how many voted?
How many people have voted, and what is the age group, that age bracket that has registered low voter turnout. So when we are targeting them on social media, we target those people. So it's like they cannot run out from that message. And we put the message in a way that everyone can relate to it. You cannot write a message which someone reads with, okay, this is this or this is that. So the message is very simplified in a manner that everybody can relate to it. So I think as far as we are concerned, when we are into this voter registration, I think which will come first,
Yeah.
we should make sure that we employ these strategies. Yes, people have to register.
I hope IEC is taking note.
Yes, people have to register. So it also means that the voter registration stations should be increased. If it was 100, now it has to be 200. So that you will be able to manage people.
Okay.
So someone has to be in control of it. You can say, okay, this station, we are only
need all this
registering
amount.
50 people. Another station, for example, if the whole of this, if the constituency is 100 people, you divide them. This one is registering only 50, this one also is registering only 50. To make sure that that interaction, that close interaction is not among people. Otherwise, you might not know who is having COVID, and then the person will spread it to the rest of the people that are registering there.
That's a very beautiful strategy. I think you must have something to add on that.
Yeah, like he said, because we all about, like he rightly mentioned, COVID is here to stay.
Yeah.
So whatever plant we have to consider it, and then how things will be when we talk about COVID,
Sure.
because the let's say the protocol have to be measured, and then whatever, let's say you wanted to venture in, then you consider all those guidelines. So it will help to, like he rightly mentioned, you have to take a steps whereby you, the authorities who are asking people to do this, so that if they come, they will know that this is what we exactly have in place.
Sure.
So I think that's the right move for them.
Yeah, I think I will also support that too, because especially the part that you mentioned, let the polling stations be added, like where they will be registering. Yeah. Iba yele ni worketa aba mol market bakla, because nin kunu na no mo kemeka the seed la kemela bakeri mo kata meka to sabe daminto. So iba yele bila, because of malafem pruka crowd avoid. So iba yele every registration on sending a split into, like we move it to 200 la. So we will be able to cut down the number of people in the register account, and also the FNCO extend. So with that regard, I am confident we will avoid crowded areas and also neutralize COVID-19 spread.
Yeah.
Because every day you announce we are going to receive 50 people. I'm sure if you cut it down there, the next day that people will be coming, they will really maintain that decorum. They will go with it. But usually in the Gambia here, I don't know how to put this. We will be very, very good to put things on the paper, but the implementation side will be very, very weak. Yeah. So I hope IEC will take note of this, because they are aware of this show, and they will really consider this recommendation, because this is one of the things that I think will really help, especially when it comes to voter registration in a dense population areas such as KMC. I think this will be something that would really help. I'm using I think a lot, because I'm not an expert in this area, so I'm just sharing my views and this side. So but IEC is having the manpower, they have the specialists in this area. I'm sure they can do it. And also we need this as soon as possible. We've seen that registration is taking too long and it's not happening now, so this might bring some confusions, and I think this is something we have to address by now, because it was said January, it was pushed because there was no budget, there was this, there was that, we want to push it there, we are not comfortable with this one. We are all Gambians, we all stand for our country. Voting is a fundamental right for every Gambian to go in. You are entrusted to play your role, to set a commission that's, this commission has been set to focus on the voter side. So I think it is now obligations on the parties involved to make this happen.
Yeah, I think to add something to it, to control the crowding, for example, every station, obviously there will be security. So the security, they can stand at the door. So I've seen some other countries, they are doing very well when it comes to managing queue. So you have to draw something, a sign on the ground.
Yeah, there's
so
X
every 1 meter or 2 meter, you have another one. So if I stand here, the next person should be 2 meters away from me.
Absolutely.
So if you also follow this one, it's going to help you in managing the queue.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think we will just go for a quick break, but during that break, we will be having a video from the control room where we have Omar who went to Guinea-Bissau to have interaction with the people of Guinea-Bissau on how to manage COVID-19. But remember, you stay tuned with us because this video is very, very interesting. You wouldn't want to miss it. They are Africans like us. You see yourself in them. If they are doing it, we can do it. So let's enjoy the video. When we come back, we will continue our discussions on voter and civic education in KMC, and this message will go wide outside KMC and other municipalities and constitutions, I'll call it, or maybe is it constituencies, I meant to say. We really learn from them. So let's go for this short break. We enjoy the video.
As the brutal second wave of the coronavirus continues to cause havoc across the globe, countries are taking desperate measures to roll back the virus spread. The global COVID-19 death toll has now surpassed 3 million, and despite the availability of vaccines, the virus continues on its path of destruction to economies and destruction of lives. While some countries have introduced partial lockdowns, others have gone even further to impose complete lockdowns, depending on the magnitude of infections. Closer home in Guinea-Bissau, the government is making a headway in influencing public attitude towards better COVID-19 management. Star TV crew was last weekend in Bissau, and Omar Diop tells us more about how they try to control the spread of the virus.
Saúde kila kipurmero, kuza di politik kila ikuza segundo, ma purmero kuza
leita miteng e kana buzana bo, ma estado kata desobedecido.
With a population of nearly 2 million people, Guinea-Bissau has been reinforcing its COVID-19 interventions since the country registered its first positive case last year. And the results have been greater public awareness and relatively low cases. The country has so far recorded 89 COVID-related deaths. In Bissau, the penalties for violation of COVID-19 protocol, such as face mask wearing, ranges from fines to punishment.
My name is Dr. Musa Embalo. I'm an economic and business advisor of the President of the Republic of Guinea-Bissau. We will have to use masks because there's a security requirement. If you don't use mask in the street, the police can fine you. You can pay a fine, and that's very worrisome for the families.
Walking in the streets of the capital, one could not fail to notice the strict public adherence to the wearing of face masks. Hand washing stations could be also seen in several key locations of the city. Currently, schools are closed, public gatherings limited, and restaurants are operating on a takeaway basis. Why is Bissau adopting such stringent measures?
Everybody is on board with the protocol COVID because it's hitting people hard. It is hitting families hard. Right now, the schools are closed, and that's very worrisome for the parents of children.
But it is not the government of Bissau alone that is apparently concerned about stopping COVID-19 on its track to further spread. The public is also not relaxing its guards.
Niaje fana mbuka so mole sije basana ya samba ite sino le adomo masro fala foi yake foi ke fankanta ni wonte akoli atale
mami fi ku takk masque sa bop nga protéger non parce que gouvernement du ñom ñolay takkalo masque par force police ñom lay takkalo masque par force ko takka sa masque pour sa santé la pour sa bop la parce que bo février sa bop ngay lor kon dang ko wa tak bolo sa xañu la koy wax bolo man loolu laa gëm daal depuis que maa ngi fi depuis 6 mois mais franchement dama gis ñëpp dañuy takk masque dañ ko respecté normal te bu taxaw naan feebar bi am na wala amul gëwuma ko defal li ñu ni wax rek li ñu la wax daal moom def ko man loolu laa gëm.
ordo naata man sakunda le ordo di ni man sakunda ko mom fo banko di umanya na ay bo akoma iba mo lele man sakunda mom fo banko be di uno bo tel be le ba comprendre.
Meanwhile, as Bissau embraces a robust public stance in keeping the coronavirus at bay, back home in the Gambia, the public attitude towards the virus control leaves a lot to be desired. Late last month, the Gambia also announced ban on musical and political jamborees as well as mass social gathering come March 8.
Welcome back. Just a quick reminder, you're watching the Golden Bee Revolution, episode 54. You can click on Star TV's Facebook page where you will watch this episode, and also you can click on Star TV's YouTube where you will have a complete view of this video. Guinea-Bissau is maintaining a full gear to fight against COVID-19. Why are we waiting? One will be like, you're sitting in front of the camera without wearing a face mask, but received several feedbacks from the audience and the viewers that anytime you use a mask, your message is not very clear. So in sharing clean and clear information is one of the things that we do. So we didn't want to give you an information or have information at the end of the day you don't understand. This is why we are able to maintain a distance here. So don't copy our style because we are here maintaining a distance. We are only staying here for a few times. You that is in the crowd place, make sure you use a face mask, use hand sanitizers, and also follow all the protocols to fight against COVID-19. Remember, if you are safe, I am safe, he is safe, she is safe, we are all safe together. So with that, we can battle it. COVID-19 is not a monster that is undisputable or we can beat him. We can defeat COVID-19 if we are ready, because together we can do it. Like the Wolofs will say, Mbolo, Moedole. So we can go with that. I have a very big wall of dialects, but sometimes I love to flow with it because like a so with that, this is an obligation to me. I force myself, be it's going to be a very bad one, but I make sure especially like meeting the people in KMC here, I have to speak Wolof a lot. So this time we're going into detailed discussions on voting here. So this time, instead of I go with you, I would like to take a little bit shift towards this side and I go. Despite some will be like, I have a bus, anytime I go, I drop you, but I have a board where I can sail any direction. Coming to you, quick one in Wolof, I want you to shed a little bit light on why is it important to register and also vote.
Okay.
It will be a reminder to some, and it will be a wake-up call to others too.
Okay, kuni ya fanyami. Karte fayo kula miya lanko ntolbe anyantam male. Madama itamu banko dingoldi. Karte fayo mo fena miya lanko date mal. Miya na date makatum ikana mole ke palaso to miya lanko anyana tarlaje pour kado ko ke barata danno aba marla ku jamal mi yalan ko identité la balu wala kam ja nin kate fawesi nin kate fawo keta falle mo tombo mi yalan ka sita state house min keta bankola bombati o mari sang ay sembendi sotola kaje ko nyine be kele jang nyine be kele jang nyine be kele jang oto hanila fewo ni badi la mola anyana kele moto mi yalan ko ila tala baba ka nyana kele moto mi yalan ko lanna molam amanke tafalete ba nita sita sokono iko a nyil kay politician ole da mangole ni fa kere yarte no mari nata ita man son ka vote ma tayra kate fay na mari tara fo mol dole kate fay anata sita o place bato na ku ke mi yalan ko ameta nyafa wala man die wala ni silo manta ita manyanna kam falo ko wala katon ita lo bula fasita jeto ka kate fayo ata damban nem programme to mi yalan ko nin ko mbe kanya aman soto la fo kate fayo karon kate fayo momo yalan ko mo banko dengoti e kate ke se kilinda man soto o kate ke se kilen han president o kate ke se kilina soto so ataman tan soto ka fo balam president wala nga tandi adala national assembly nga mondi to la ntol citizenol mi yalan ko banko dengol dem ndol todo senelal capital ndol kay anga katte ke sekelinta hani ata damma na programme mi yalan ko kanya na da jedol ora nita sita koma ekweta katte fayla ite ka kule ka banko la mi yalan ko abe jawiyaram babake ita malam ita la carte keso ni abe mune kela wo carte fayo woto nimbe carte fayla nin carte faywaro sida an kakala siso kono ka foko carte ni carte fayo politician la tamo nyin kay ndaka hanga carte fay ni ma fay nyima bo ataba winnala wino oba carte keso lo bol anen carte keso ita fane kilne soto woto mbe mol be dan la mom ya ko banko dingote andu ngalan ko nyim banko nga banko din kendo le soto carte faylum amulungol te miyaran ko akela banko din kende ya itandi ne buka carte fay itela banko din kende ya ay yin karba wala soto jeta katon ite damantara banko la decision making do nim banko ba kacala ko ndala fana banko ita tenne sanji lulun min kana ita ko kasi shwo kono o kayitande ko ite mantara banko din kendol kono oto mbe mobe yamarla mbe danila mba fule ko sambi registration obe sila na sita angata nga register nin carte fayo sita ngata carte fayo moye miyalan ko ntol yamira wala benna banko sambanola a yirwandi sanjilul min kanana baraka
o mo nyere ba ke Mr. Haidara atna la lafa come for challenge me Mandinka. Can I speak Mandinka as fluent as you do? I was like kind of surprised, but I would love to hear you say this in Wolof.
Well, jërëjëf comme yow dama bëgg da nga bëgg ma jàppale rek sa wolof moo baaxul so understand na comme moom wax na li nga xamante ne moo nekk li am solo la moo nekk si wàllum registration bi parce que gis nañ ne am registration mooy tax moo laa garanti pour nga mën a sànni carte so puus and pull yi ak nekk di yuuxul nit ne man kii laa fal kii laa fooli loolu yëpp amul solo lu gën a am solo moo nekk nga am sa voters card so registration bi nga dem ngay register pour mu won la ne yow am nga di garantie ne pour nga taana ki nga xamante ne moo laa ilif parce que dafa am solo trop nekk nga taana njiit bokk si nga xamante ne ñoo taana njiit bi mais eedal liggéey na wala liggéey waaye yow ku la doy nga dee mën a taana te loolu yëpp mënuloo koo def nga nekk si mbedd bi di xeexantu wala di xëcc xuloo ak xee yooyu noonu amul njëriñ lu gën a support bu gën a am solo pour in politique moo nekk nga am sa carte soo amee sa carte den su la neexee sax bu koy coowal bu koy yuuxul despite ne ñu bëri dañoo ne ak diw amul ne li waaye su fekkee ne nit am na nit yoo xamante ne des préfère ne dañoo toog si biir kër bi duñ ko yuuxul moom kenn mu dee nekk di dox si dëkk bi den di day of the election mu cappa ñu yëpp génnal ko ne ñu dem toog ñu sànnil ko carte xam naa ñu bëri dañoo ne kii amut nit naka la wii nii élection bi especially Gambian mentality yi dañoo ne sàcc moo fa am parce que koo xamante ne day dem rally sax du am ay 100 ne sa tey kooku ñëw win carte waaye gis nañ ne man gis naa ne man gëm naa ne loolu moo gën a am solo nga register nga am sa voters card sa loxo bañ a bokk si xeex ak puusante yi nii bés bi su jotee nga mën a tànn waaye yow nga toog yow yaa ngi yuuxul nit parce que kooku am na ay thousand nit ñi nga xamante ne ñoo ko nekk di toppa waaye bés bi soo xoolee si majorité bi ñëpp amuñ carte demal nga vote mu ne la man fàtte naa registré wu ma sax damaa toog naan ataaya mun na dafa win loolu yëpp amul solo soo citizen foo dee wone ne man doomi réew mi laa maa bokk naa si tànn bi wala bokk ma si tànn bi xam nga doo ñu ñëpp duñ mun a ànd si kenn ñu taana ko def ñun yëpp dañoo am diverse in opinion when it come to selection of our leaders waaye nga bokk si ñi nga xamante ne dañoo woote si bési élection bi am na solo trop te loolu mënuloo koo def soo registration bi am na solo trop.
dëgg la kay loolu kaddu bu neex la comme dinaa dugg si olof comme soo see laka di olof di wax rek comme nekkal mbir nekku si mbir foog nga dem si arena bi.
waaw nekkam mbur
ok nekkam mbur naka si mbir foog nga dem si arena bi nga wane nit li nga mun.
waaw
pour nga toog si kër ngay cool yi man kii laay faral kii laay vote kii laay lii ak lële loolu du njëriñ bi foog nga am carte nga dem nga sànni sa carte bi yu bëri daf ñu dal daal da ngaa gis ne ni dafa cool rek man kii laa sànni suma carte ci dafa win by force balaa ñu announce results bi. ñoom ñu génne si mbedd bi di yuuxu suñ ngay ñoo win kii moo win du nekk di yuuxu wii nangam loolu dafa esi problème so xam naa ne like Gambia participate you have kind of a TOR in your foundation where you also deal with conflict and also save conflict during elections that is like make sure that let the authorities do the right thing so this would influence that person who is watching and thinks yes because there is a proper mechanism, there is a body that will supervise this people's work, I think I will vote. Convince the person.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sware. I think at Gambia Participates, elections are a very key moment for us because we believe it is a day where people decide who will steer their affairs in the next 5 years.
Yeah, as the Gambia Constitution describes
yes.
it. Yeah.
So that is why what we do is first we organize election tech camp, and we've done that in fact last Saturday, where we invited the media, civil society organization. We also invite stakeholders. We had IEC personnel there. We also have GPU members there. We also have digital tech, how to call it, digital marketers and social media strategists. So we brought all these people so we can discuss from different perspectives of how can we as a nation, as a people, participate effectively in the elections and making sure that elections are free and fair without any violence. And Gambia Participates is also part of the civil society coalition on elections. So this coalition, they monitor elections activity from pre to post election activities. And we are very happy that we've been doing this effectively. So elections, they are activities which have time frame, and it could be short in some countries, it could be long in some cases. So first what you need to do is you get to the people, talk to them why they should vote, because voting is a fundamental human rights, I would say, and it's also a fundamental civic duty. If you are a citizen, you believe that you are a patriotic citizen, then voting is obligatory upon you. So we get to them, you know, some people have misconception, and you need to clear their doubt why they should vote. For example, if you get to a layman and you want to explain why they should vote, you have to bring in something that is so dear to them to make sure that if you vote, this is the decision that you are making. You are talking to a farmer. Talk to the farmer that if you vote, you are giving power to someone who is going to take the affairs of agricultural activities, which could tamper you or deny you from things that you have a fundamental right on. So you have to relate it to the person's daily life. So the way I will talk to the youths about election, I cannot talk to elderly people, especially in the rural Gambia. So you have to bring something that is within them, that they live within. So they can understand, okay, so on the whole, I've not been voting, this is what is costing me. So that one way, we do it in that way. And election tech camp, the reason why we do it, we invite participants across the country from the 7 regions and bring them, give them tools, give them skills they can use to force to participate in voter education within their community. We make them as community champions. So when they go back to their community, they are also going to, how to call it, they are also going to sensitize their people. So it's like, you know, okay, one person cannot do it alone. Gambia Participate is here, and the number is few. We cannot do it all. But if you bring people from different how to call it, diversity background,
different CSS,
from different demographic. So when you bring them all, you know that all of us have to advocate for it. That's why we also brought in media. So the media also can use their platform. And we also brought in social media personnel, which I am one of that. So we gave these people tools that I would say they never had. In fact, they had, but they never knew these tools can be used to increase voter turnout. And we also had hands-on deck experience sharing, where the IEC personnel was there to explain everything about electoral processes and the role of IEC. We also have youth leaders to explain community engagement on voter education. How do you go about it? We also had GPU to talk to us about how to effectively monitor election and how to report it. So we had social media personnel to tell us the tools we can use to reach out to every single person in this country. We know how many people use social media. As of 2021 January, there are 480,000 people who use social media at least once a day. Yeah, and most of these people are youths. So when you take it in youths, obviously you're going to social media because people are married to their phone. So you also need to know which platform are they really spending more of their time. So you get to reach out to them. You can select or you can design different tools which can ease communication and personalize information and message that you want to reach out to them. Yeah. So for Gambia Participate, we do both. We get to the hard to reach places where we know these people, they don't have internet at all. Yeah. So you cannot reach out to them. And the ones that have internet, for example, in the urban area, we target them online. And this has really been successful. And we hope, last elections, there were about 800,000 registered votes. We hope after this tech camp, after all commitments are done, we hope that we'll exceed at least 1 million voter registration.
Wow, that's very beautiful. That's very, very beautiful. That will be like more of have a population of the Gambia, and we will have a very, very good thing because we cannot just go into election when half of the population hasn't voted. So the fate of them are not known. So it's like there is someone to represent the country who could have even been voted out with the ones that didn't turn out to vote. Yeah. So with this, there is one statement which I always love. It is used by most of these community developers. That is showing ownership, bottom-top approaches. So in that you build ownership. If people vote you in, they build ownership. They want to guide you in. They want to push you in. But instead we will be like man follow madal, do man vote. So that will force me to go to him where I will be using this word, man follow man gomma election. Gomma election at all, man follow so man luma follow mo nek like dama talk, sun sande karta like ku win like ma anda ko. Man do lagom. So I want you to convince me and those that are thinking in this line using Wolof dialect.
Well, jërëjëf Alaaji foog naa moom leeral na ko si kawam li nga xamante ne mooy angale boo ko laajee question bi ne ki nga xamante ne parewul pour vote looy def bi nga ko mën a convince pour si vote laisser sànni karta su ñëwee mu mën a sànni karta jox na la ay ponc si nga xamante ne important na trop am na solo trop parce que soo demee béykat bi nga ne ko ne dama bëgg nga sànni karta mu ne lan moo waral may sànni karta gëmuma ko foog nga la andil ko li nga xamante ne moom loolu la moo dundi moom loolu la gëm ne moom loolu mooy ci life am moo nekk béy bu moo def yan plan nga ko amal soo jëlee plan si noonu nga teg ko si tabulaam bi parce que moom loolu moo nekk day to day life activité am comme ça nu mu ko leeralee si kalaama angale moom loolu la gëm soo man su ma nekkee man journaliste la nga ne ma ne Omar dama bëgg nga sànni karta man lan lay war a sànni karta pour lan nga asuma nga andi loo xamante ne dafa ànd ak suma filo foofu nga ne ko ne si ëllëg ki ngay tànn ndax mun naa am su toogee si kaw toogu bi mu andi li nga xamante ne mooy media freedom man suma maas yi loolu laa gëm loolu lay wóor damaa ne ok kii at least wax na ma li nga xamante ne bokk na si li nga xamante ne man yooyu lay seet pour ma vote so loolu ak loolu soo demee ku nekk si fil bu mu nekk rek nga andil ko li nga xamante ne parce que mën loo jékki-jékki nga ne ma ne jógal fii nga def lii ëllëg te at the end of the day tegal loo ma si table bi li nga xamante ne su ma ko defee njëriñ boobu laa si am loolu dafaa nekk li muy trop waaye comme saa yi moom lu mu ko observé noonu la fa war a demee ku nekk mooy di journaliste di driver di farmer ku nekk daal andil ko dafa am nooy waxtaan ak moom te gars yi def nañ li nga xamante ne lu am solo la si social media comme wax na lu mu ko waxee rek comme yow Alaaji yow sama si you are just your best hobby is your mobile phone.
Yeah,
sa sweetheart.
WhatsApp,
so every day thing maybe so jogging early in the morning, the first thing you do is looking in your phone. So bala ngay tëdd nelaw, but the last time bala ngay wax kooku noonu, the last thing you do is when you're looking at your phone. So obviously nga doore foofu noonu si social media bi either you like it or not, this sensitization nit yi dinañ ko gis. Understand nga so ñi nga xamante ne they are one
mun naa leen ooy they are illiterate when it comes to the social media stuff ñooñu nga dem meet leen personally then nga explainal leen the terms and the conditions and then ñoom luñ gëm ne loolu moo war a change seen perspective towards election so loolu am na solo trop so daaneel na
jërëjëf bu baax kàddu bi seen na trop tey moom suma olof bi moom du ma ko rose parce que dama bëgg a mokkal ko so xam naa ne lu ma mënta wax du mun a set waaye bu yàgga moom dina set comme alela ñamina dorong hansa ka fu ñamina dorong quartier folo kuolong aning banko diw ñenta ka mu ñento lake kaje ko kala banko sama ñato la ñin silo kana bot lokan tundo min kana wonon KMC tida bare ni ajibe kabo bundum kono la kadum faji kunda kono la tere kunda kono la kana joso na kara kane fin kana aning tundo mana kire nyimbala la anyanto mo mo ndin tele basirin dawo dala ye register ila kartele especially ning anata nang mayor elections la and also councillor and elections landing National Assembly member. This area is very, very key because DIGB Ajamala, Gavoko Makarte register freely. Was a marker in only one area that is like if you are going to vote a president, then you can vote in any of these phone call at a stop. But if you register at a wrong zone, like you are supposed to register on a polling, you are from Bundunga Kunta Bundum, you came and registered in Old Joshua or maybe New Joshua. You are going to vote in terms of council elections. You will only vote in where you register, and this has been a problem that IEC made coming Kumbo. Please, like telling them here, where you have only a tiny road, a narrow road, is different between the two polling stations. People will prefer crossing because they think this place is not, and this place is overdense, so they want to register at a very calm place. But when it comes to representation, that they cannot vote in someone that will represent their voice. Allah try na yen mistakes if I'll avoid moment you tundo mintole idaminto demarcate here to go and vote you vote on that area. So with that, before I go in depth into discussion on this area, we will just go for a short commercial break, a short one. When we come back, we have a wrap up on this topic. Remember, it's COVID-19 in Paklamba, discussion and also voter and civic education in KMC. We had several plans we put in place, that is by the use of t-shirts, posters, flyers to distribute within the entire KMC. But because there is weak financial support to this project, we've not out to donors, but donor fatigue is really impacting and most people will use COVID-19 more responding. But still we are open to embark on these missions, which is like meeting the communities, women at the market, meeting schools and the like, distributing our flyers. If you want to be part of this humanitarian support, you can communicate 7013492. Or you come to Star TV here where you will be linked with Golden Bee Revolution, or also you can click our Facebook page, which is the Golden Bee Revolution, where we will push this topic to push it wider, reach every Gambian, because our target is 200,000 people in the KMC. Then from there we meet other constituency, and also I'm gonna be very, very stressed with it because first one I'm missing with constitution. We are going to meet other municipalities, other councils, because we want to see every Gambian register. Like they said, it was 800,000. This time we're targeting 1 million, and we can do it. The Gambia will go by force. Gambia Fadam Diakuya. So let's go for this final break. When we come back, we can continue the discussions with the final statements from the both sides.
ñu bëgg jàmm ak salaam yéen a moom lii yéen ñu bëgg réew mi jëm kanam suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo Gambia lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo kon ne ñu ñaanal ñu ñu jiitu taxawal suñu réew xiifaatu ñi ci ñàkk seen bakkan ñi laagu jàmm ak salaam moo doon seen kaadu ne ñu fàtte démb liggéey tey ndam suñu réew bu ñu yàlla may joxante loxo ay ñu fay ñoo bokk réew mi gaañi ne ñu tey suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo Gambia lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo suñu réew lay ndamoo marema Bora ya tandila bankoma Namiro sitanyola Bankola nyanto titanola Fo alto tenanola Bankola doko ngatanyola Amulga amwala badola Fok nyu bolo moy aduna Nenyu fatte dembeligete Ndamo sunyu rebunyu yalme Sunyu reula indamo Sunyu reula indamo Sunyu reula indamo Gambia la indamo Sunyu reula indamo Sunyu reula indamo Sunyu reula indamo Banyu la indamo Gambia amna ñi fi def jalore Abdel Kabir Usun Jai Signor Saliba Kuyate Bature Usun Lion Jai Modosi Musa Gompiri Pire Kuta Kinte Niño Isunyundanane Konelendamo Nyundamo Lalo Keva Nitenyo Kondamo Nendamo Sunyure Mitenyo Kondamo Reo Mangini Sunyure Mangini Reo Mangini Nolin Reo Mangini.
Welcome back. We are on a final set to this show today. I don't want to conclude without giving him a chance to finally talk about, let's focus on the election day. That is, I know when it's election, we have observers and the like. So I want to know what will be the role of Gambia participate on an election day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spade. And we have already set up what we are going to do throughout the election activities.
Yeah.
And on election day, we are going to deploy observers across the country in all the polling stations. And these observers are going to make sure that whatsoever happens in the ground is reported to us at the headquarters. And we are also going to be part of the situation room as Gambia participate, because last mayoral election, we developed an app called Marble, and this Marble has a lot of data about election. For example, the number of candidates, the polling station where you can find them, the candidates, and the Marble we are developing in a more user-friendly way. Because it was built for Android during that, because we were in a haste to make sure that we don't miss out anything. So we are going to develop it so that the iOS, that's my people, Apple also will have it. So you can be at home, not going anywhere, and receiving live information about the election. So we are going to share the situation room with IEC. So we will also be updating the masses constantly as the vote comes in. And the Marble is an application everybody can download it from Android App Store or Apple App Store and have it on your phone. The only thing you need is just internet connection, and you will know more information about it. Not only about the results, but also the candidates, their manifestos,
their profiles,
the polling station, almost everything you need to know about election. We have it on that particular Apple, app called Marble. And we are also making sure that the voter education does not only stop before election. Even during election, we will keep on informing people about election. And how we do it is very simple. We know how many people use social media. So we are going to create an ad on social media and target all those people who do not vote last year. I mean, not particularly 1% or 2%. We are going to target them based on their demographic, based on their age group. Okay, if IEC said last election, this is the age group that has lacked in terms of voting. Those are the people that we are going to target. We are going to target them from all across all the platforms they use. Either they are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, even inside their, how to call it, Messenger, because we realize that many people spend more time on Messenger than other social media platform.
Okay.
So whether you like it or not, you are going to see the message, and you are going to be seeing it constantly. Even on voting day, we're going to keep reminding them why they should vote, what voting will do to them as far as they are concerned. As citizens. So let me just
message will come in. So that's very beautiful. Sorry for continuing because I want you to give us a quick roundup on your final statement on how to control COVID-19 here, especially we are recently how do you call it, election.
Thank you.
Preferably use Wolof, so I will really love that. Because I want to get the Wolof group. I am ashamed of myself that I couldn't read them. It's not my fault. I was exposed to Wolof language not long ago, and I'm really building my language in that.
Ok jërëjëf Alaaji comme noo ko waxee rek ñu ngi élection bi nu moo dilmal seen comme ñu bëri nuñ gëm ne despite ne vaccine bi am na waaye despite ne comme bu ma nekkee Guinée Bissau comme ñoom seen presidential adviser bi lu mu wax despite ne su fekkee ne dëkk bi yëpp jël li nga xamante ne mooy vaccines still now it will go like 3 or 4 months ne ñëppay bugg di wear masks and all that stuff. So comme the same here in the Gambia, COVID is here to stay, but nuñ ko xeexee moo nekk to observe the preventive measures that are ñoo xamante ne ñoo nekk health workers yi ak ni WHO nuñ wax ñiti pour ñu def. So suñ defee loolu dinañ am free election. Comme numa election am naa si experience. I was once a presiding officer. Li nga xamante ne moo nekk presidential election bu gën a miri si dëkk mooy 2016. Yeah, I was a presiding officer. Every Gambian. So xam naa ne election du dee yomb a def day carré trop waaye suñ fekkee ne gars suñu jàppale ñu andi li nga xamante ne loolu ñoo teg si ground bi parce que ñi tamit ñu dee ñëw dañoo ñëw ak bàyyi xel luñ fekk si ground bi loolu la ñoo doxee so ñu put this COVID-19 things into measures.
Naa la interject in this area xam naa tamit li nga def ni moom is very very important. It's a very very good thing da nga demoon Bissau nga def soowee foofu noonu where you did so I hope you have any plan to do that in the Gambia here too pour nga inform other areas too.
Well, actually, balaa may jékki-jékki di fàtte I will answer you on that person. But first of all, I will not go without thanking someone who has tirelessly worked with me on this story. That is Yamunda Koka, who worked as a camera lady and even sometimes the interviewer. She was so very instrumental in the story. Like you just asked, no laajte ni jërëjëf am bëgg naa work lu mel ni loolu ñu ma am li nga xam te ne moo nekk Gambian bi seen gëm-gëm. Parce que ñun suñu gëm-gëm loolu moo waral tax ma gën a wook li nga xam te ne mooy si story bi ñun lan lañ gëm ndax fol bii ne autorités yi la ñi nga xam te ne ñoo war a tax ñi ti observe li wala ñi nga xam te ne ñoo nekk citizens yi ñu xool fol bi fan la nekk so dinaa work on that story and na su ñoree dañoo ding si jot.
Very very good. We bring back the research investigation journalism here. So your final words before you close.
Okay,
I think you can do that in 1 minute.
Okay. Ba afala momo yang ko be yin jibe kan programo la mi yalan ko akumara babake ka yako ntol be ngandake ko do mi yalan ko wala ben banko sambala nyato andum kula fana mi yalan ko nyantolen ntol be kan ka yako carte fewla programo be ngandaka amume beto ka sisu kono carte faybalya o manke banko din kende yaado ala ba
momo ni lava ke fanke banko di wotela ele banko di yala sembo batala lale ning atra carte fe carte ke sote bulla wote ba dawo datola KMC kono lon KMC bantalo tayta register carte soto yesi so le paninga ning carte ko so longo sita isa de lonje ko iba adi kan fendela miyanka be fon represent kan jero. So with that, to live in peace, like a peace maintain, and in main plan do a for for development, pour que Gambia change in a modern state to be like a first country or maybe a developed country la. Momon ta sembo keno damanta mante city nana banko dia bambandi. Mbolo nymo dole. Let's join together, fight against COVID-19, and also register votes la ka voting can be in KMC la and outside KMC la. So with that, join us on our next episode la next week Tuesday la same places la. Special thanks goes to the control room and the camera team la of Star TV la for keeping us having a very beautiful flow on this episode la. Thank you so much. Thank you and see you next week. Bye.
Gambia.